So today we will try to investigate what it is bullet train. Bullet train it's one of the frameworks under the framework Rails, and it's a new vision of creation of specific interfaces and specific functionality with a big speed up because bullet train implements a new scheme in infrastructure of Rails, super scaffolding scheme. You see this. And with this super scaffolding scheme, we can achieve a lot of speed ups in our implementations in Rails infrastructure. Because when we create a super scaffold, we create a lot of objects in one time. Model, a view, a controller as usual, but with a lot of graphical specific elements and a lot of different specific sub elements, for example, APIs and other things. So it's a big container with a lot of functionality. Usually we create this functionality by our hands. So for example, a specific API, we usually create on the controller. After this, we can create a specific element in as model. But with a super scaffolding scheme, we can create all in one and from graphical interface. How it will be, I will show you later. But first step of our investigation will be how we can install this bullet train. So big achievement of bullet train, it's all-in-one scheme. So we achieve with the bullet train normally installed Sidekick, normally installed Redis scheme with the caching, normally installed database with all dependencies for our implementations. And when we try to start some kind of new element in our Rails infrastructure, we can create it only with one command, without any modifications on program side. So we can start. It's a working bullet train. So first step, it's we need to clone usual repository of bullet train. Usual repository of bullet train, it's an open source repository, and we need only to clone this by this. And it's cloned on my side. Let's do this. After this, we need to start only one command. Bin configure. Bin configure checks dependencies of bullet train. First, you need to install Ruby 3.3 on your environment. After this, we can rename our GitHub configurations, but for now we don't need this, so we don't check and we don't push on a GitHub our project. So we don't need this for now, but name, okay, Rocket, for example. Okay, so project prepared, that's all. For now, we need only to understand what we need to do next. Setup. One thing is you need to install Redis 7 on your machine. From usual repository of Ubuntu, you cannot install this, so you need to add this functionality as standalone functionality. How you can do this? I can share link for this. It's only one big dependency because usually on Ubuntu, in usual Ubuntu repositories, you have only Redis 6, and it's not enough for starting a bullet train. Yes, so we have all dependencies and we can start with Overmind or without Overmind. Overmind, it's a container under Foreman. If you know what it is, Foreman is a specific utility to start isolate uh, Rails application. So for now, it's not a dependency for us. We don't need this. So we can start without Overmind and all working right for now. Next step, we need to start our application. So you see it working, and for now you will have a working framework. Only one magic here. It's a it's a one thing. If you want to start something, you need to create a database. You need to implement username of your Postgres connection and password, and that's all. So in these scripts, you implemented all of you need. So Tailwind, implementation of specific JavaScript engines, so implementation of Node.js and other things. So all included in the scripts, you can check it. Here you can see configuration of Puma Start and Psyche. And here you can see configuration of web service, bullet train. And that's all. So you see how fast its implementation of bullet train was. Only one thing I can explain why it is disabled in Grok, because in Grok it's a specific virtual tunnel only for Stripe implementation. If you want to implement in your project Stripe, you can use ngrok tunnel through the HTTP protocol, and it will be a secure tunnel directly for payments, and that's all. So for now, we cannot. One thing of the bullet train is when you use a lot of these companies, it's all free, but when you try to implement a specific payment system as Stripe, you need to buy license. So it's not a fully open source and free product. For the implementation of Stripe, you need to pay money. This license will be about $600. That's all. So, what we can do with this bullet train? One moment. We need to start it firstly. So it normally works. Six characters. That's all. So we have our application. In this application, from start, you can normally implement APIs directly from graphic interface. Hmm. Hmm. You see how it's simple. You can create tokens. Hmm. You can add concepts, a lot of different things, teams with a specific dependencies. So you can implement this, invite users via emails. With specific restrictions. Hmm? You see? So it's a common to work directly from scratch. If you want to implement something new, you want to create this a new model. For example, you want to add a specific model view controller structure, so super scaffold. Okay, so it's not a problem. You can add it. One moment. Internalization. Oh, you see. We can add project. Okay. You see all unlocks you can manage, so not a big deal. Uh, this dialog you can see asking us we need to add in our nav bar menu this button or not. Yes, we did this. Okay. Project. Okay. We don't start our migration. It's our fault. Errors. Okay.
Yeah, I think I know the goals of the server. It just can't find graph viz, but graph viz is a tool for building schemas, like database schemas. And if you had GraphViz installed, this tool could also help with building like a graphical visualization of a schema.
So it's not a problem because you here you can see our projects. Project created. So you see how it's simple and how it's beautiful. In a few minutes, you have a big application with a lot of functionality, with the flexible APIs, webhooks, or specific scheme based on the can for users and users dependencies. You see, so Bullet Train, it's one step ahead of a lot of different frameworks. And if you want to start something new, I think Bullet Train on a Ruby. I think Bullet Train it's the best idea for you because if you want to create a demo project, it will be only few minutes. And that's all. For example, I have project. It's our pet project, and we use Bullet Train on this. I will show you. So it's a project to manage booking in beauty salons. So it was created in a few hours with a lot of implemented functionality. Few hours only. Specific services for the beauty booking, so salons. And it's a really simple, really flexible scheme with a good control, with a lot of interesting from scratch modules, and you can manage this scheme directly from your graphical interface. So, and it's really stable because it's tested. Bullet Train is one of the part of Rails community, and Bullet Train controlled for now by Rails community. So, if you want to start something, I think it's the best idea for you to choose Bullet Train for demo or for small project, for example, for startup in I think only on a financial scheme, it's not a good idea to use some kind of projects. But for booking, for internet magazines, or some kind of news sites, small sites with the news, for example, I think it's the best idea for now. If you want to use Rails way. I think that's all on my side. If you want to some more information about this, you can ask it.
Okay, thank you, Sergey. You can stop presenting the screen so that we don't have this like, yeah, effect. Okay, I think I have the very first question. So, do I understand this correctly that Bullet Train is basically an enhanced admin panel, something like this? So we can create concepts, we can build relations between concepts, and we can expose those concepts and data through the API. And Bullet Train is basically like an enhanced admin panel. But if we want to have some custom graphics, we need to build a separate app. But it can use a Bullet Train based app as a backend.
No. So if you want to Bullet Train based on the Hotwire and Stimulus, and you can modify this interface without any problems.
Mm-hmm.
it's a very flexible scheme. It's one of the big goals of David Henneman on the Rails 7. It's implementation by default Hotwire and Stimulus, and it's not a panel for administrator. It's a new scheme of creation of elements. So you can create all elements from one command. So you create icons, so you create specific views using specific buttons, a lot of different functionality, and you can manage this functionality directly in the code. So it's some kind of big it's a scope of generators. It's a big scope of generators implemented on a Rails framework.
Okay, so is it correct that I can, like, if the default functionality of bullet train is not enough for me, I can go and edit it like
Yeah.
basic Rails app? Okay.
Yeah. One moment. I will show you how it works. It's not admin panel. It's not a Joomla. Okay. So it's a usual scheme of Rails app. You see our project controller with the usual methods. You can manage these methods. You can modify all you want without any problems. If you want to manage your views, so it's not a problem to manage your views. It's the same thing as the usual Rails application, but generated by a specific super scaffold. And that's all. Well, very flexible scheme. In the minutes, you can modify a lot of different things by command, or if you want to customize this, it's not a problem.
Okay, I see. And probably the very last question from my side. So this like bullet train framework, it creates the authentication workflow from the very beginning. And the very first account that you create is basically like a super admin role, something like this. And then you can create new teams and you can invite more people to those teams. So is it right that if I create a team and invite somebody to this team, is it correct that they won't be able to create new concepts in the app? Is it like restricted?
If you, so we can, one more time, I will share my screen. So team members, yeah, invite of team member. If we invite team member as an editor, it will be one scheme. If we invite as a team administrator, it will be another scheme. And that's also, it's a device with a Kanban implementation.
Okay.
It's from scratch, but you can modify it any way you want.
Okay.
Without any problems, because it's a usual scripts of our Rails application, so it's not a problem. It's not a problem. It's a Codex users. You see, you can permitted arrays, permitted fields. And if you want to modify it directly, one moment. Here. Mhm. Scaffolding. Where is this? This assets. Wow. I don't remember ability. Oh, okay. So in the ability, you can manage what you can, or user can, or what user cannot do, and you can manage by this can scheme restrictions. So it's a usual scheme as in the usual Rails application, but only created with a specific generator. So everything you see here, it's only generators directly on a Rails way application.
Okay.
You see here, config roles UML file with a specific roles for specific user. You can add easily there, and you will achieve these roles in your interface automatically without any problems.
Okay. Thank you for your explanation. I think I'm done with my questions. Do you guys have any other questions? I'm counting to 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. That's it. Thank you, Sergey, for the introduction to the Bullet Train today. If you guys have any other questions, you can ask them in the chats. And I'm calling it a meeting, and see you online. Have a nice week.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a nice
Thank you.
week.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.